All right, little homework help for 4.4, understanding the slope of a line. So in the following exercises, use a slope modeled on each geoboard. So we're just trying to find the slope of this. So recall, slope is just the rise over the run. So again, remember, in general, slope is just the rise over the run. So my vertical distance, in this case, like for number 211, is 1 over what's my run? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope there is 1/4, and we'll just say m equals 1/4. Okay, now if it goes down, maybe I'll go ahead and do 217. Here, I'm going down 1, 1, 2, 3. So down 3, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4. So it ends up being a negative 3/4. Okay, 227. So now, again, we're using rise over run. Find the slope of the line. So now we got an actual line, and this is what we'll be working with. So what do we got here? Identify 2 clear points on the line. I'll make sure when I give these to you that they cross through a grid point so you're not having to guess. So there's 1 point. And looks like there's one. Ooh, actually, it's not as easy as I'd hoped. I'm going to say these 2 points here. I'll make sure the graphs on test and things are a little bigger and a little clearer, or I might even provide the points. So what do we got here? We're going to go up 2. This is definitely a positive slope, right? As x increases, y increases. So I'm going to go up 2, and then over what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope here would be a positive 2/5. Now, I won't do this one for you, but is that slope going to be positive or negative? Good, it's going to be negative. You find 2 points on the line. Here's one. I'll let you find the other one. Actually, there's the other one right there. I'll let you figure that one out. Reduce it if it needs to be reduced. Now, if I'm given the equation of a line, we ought to be able to find the slope. These are 2 sort of oddities. They do come up, though. So y equals 3. Well, remember what kind of line we said that would be? I'll go ahead and sketch a quick graph of that. Y equals 3 is a horizontal line through 3. So quick sketch. I'm cheating, not even using a straight edge. I'm just trying to give myself a visual. What kind of slope is that? Good. Slope of 0. So horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Now, why is that? Think about it. It's rise over run. So there is no rise. So the rise in this case is 0. So I end up with 0 over any number is going to be, except 0, is going to be 0. So what about this next one? X equals 4. What kind of line is that? Well, recall y equals is a horizontal line. X equals is a vertical line through, in this case, 4. So what kind of slope is that? Well, again, recall we have rise over run. I have no run. So the run is 0. Well, we know we can't divide by 0. So the slope here is undefined. So the slopes of vertical lines are undefined. Slopes of horizontal lines are 0. Super important. Make sure you know that. If not, you can put it on a note card for exams. Okay, so we've kind of gotten a feel for slope by looking at the graph. We want to make sure you can find the slope given 2 points. Now here's a move that I started doing when I first started teaching a long time ago. And it was really so I would not make a mistake in front of class. And I still do it today, is I label my points, x1, y1, x2, y2. It doesn't matter which point you call point 1 and point 2, but once you solidify one, you guys stay the same. And so I recommend every time you use a formula is you write that formula down. So my formula for the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now what's going to happen? I can plug in. So I'm going to have 9 minus 4 divided by 3 minus 1. So I'm going to have 5 over 2. Doesn't ask you to graph that, but you could definitely graph that line if you wanted to. Now, where I see troubles come in are when these values are negative, because it's easy to miss subtract. So that if that were a -4, you got to make sure you do 9 minus a -4. So just be careful on that. And you'll have to do the homework to mess up before you get it. Okay, in the following exercise, graph each line with the given point and slope. I just gave you one, so that's what we got here. I will do my best. I don't have a grid. Tell you what, I'm going to recycle my grid here. I think I can do that. Let's move it up a little bit. There we go. So ignore that little point I've got there. So the y-intercept of 3. So what am I going to do? Maybe I'll use a big Sharpie on this one. So y-intercept of 3. And so I'll put my dot there at 3. And then it says a slope is -2/5. So a slope of -2/5 means I'm going to go down. I'll use a highlighter here. I'm going to go down 2. So down 2 over 5. When I say over, I always go to the right. Over 5. And there's where my second point's going to be. And then use a straight edge as best you can. And draw your line all the way through the points. So what would the equation of that line be? Well, recall we have y equals mx plus b. My slope is 3, so y equals 3x. Sorry, slope is not 3. The slope is -2/5, so y equals -2/5 x plus 3. Okay, so you want to be able to go see the connections between the equations of the lines, slopes, and y-intercepts. There's a lot going on here, so make sure that you sort of lean into what these parts mean.